Grave robbing for morons. People browsing on the internet stumbled upon a horrifying grainy home video where a young man, who calls himself Anthony and speaks with a noticeable stutter, is in a cluttered room or basement, holding a human skull and giving a tutorial on how to dig up bodies. Throughout the footage, he treats the human remains with no respect, such as by putting the mandible and dentures back on for his explanation. He explains stuff in detail, such as how to peel back dried skin and how to use bleach to clean the bones. He then claims he is part of a crew with friends named Gino and Poochie, and he even brags that they plan to rob the grave of the famous magician Harry Houdini next. For years, people have debated whether this tape is real or an elaborate hoax, and the consensus among those who have analyzed it is that the remains appear to be genuine. The skull features specific staining and rotted debris that would be very difficult to fake for a simple home video. The true origin of the tape seems to be lost though, as we just know that it was included on a compilation DVD called Ensuring Your Place in Hell, which was sold on a website called Shocking Videos around the early 2000s. The owner of that site admitted that he simply took 4 weird tapes he had received from other traders and put them on one disc. He did not know who filmed them or where they originally came from. Viewers also searched for clues to determine when the footage was filmed. They noticed a VHS copy of Evil Dead 2 in the background, which was released in 1987. Later, someone identified a specific issue of a horror special effects magazine that came out in early 1989. This evidence suggests that the video was likely recorded sometime in the late 1980s or early 1990s. The internet has tried to identify the young man in the video for a long time. One popular theory was that he was a man named Anthony Casamassima, who was a known grave robber in New York. But this theory falls apart because Casamassima would have been over 30 years old when the video was filmed, and the boy in the footage looks like a teenager. Another rumor claimed the video was a publicity stunt by a horror filmmaker named Christopher Bouchy. This was also proven false because the tape was being traded and sold by collectors long before Bouchy ever started selling copies of it. Most interestingly, some people noted that around 1985, roughly the same period this video appears to have been made, India, which had been the primary global source of human skeletons for medical study, banned the export of human remains. This ban probably created a shortage that fueled black market activity, and thus such a tutorial might have been for those who were new. Still, as of now, there are no answers to this mystery. The Jack Froese emails. Imagine checking your email on a normal afternoon, only to find a new message waiting for you from a friend who has been dead for 5 months. This is exactly what happened to a man named Tim Hart in November of 2011. The email came from the account of his best friend Jack Froese, who had passed away suddenly from a heart problem back in June of that same year at the age of 32. The subject line of the email simply said, "I am watching." The message inside was short and terrifying because it asked Tim if he could hear him and told him to clean his attic. This was disturbing because shortly before Jack died, they had been up in Tim's attic together, and Jack teased Tim about how dusty and dirty the attic was. No one else knew about that conversation, so it felt impossible that anyone else could have sent that message. Still, a single coincidence like this might not be that unlikely. For example, the account could have been hacked, and the hacker might have said, "Clean your room," for no particular reason. However, on the same night, another email was sent to Jack's cousin named Jimmy McGraw. Jimmy had broken his ankle just 1 week before receiving the email. The message asked him how he was doing and said he knew Jimmy was going to break his ankle and that he tried to warn him. It also told him to say hello to another cousin they called Rock. Jimmy broke his ankle months after Jack had already died, so there was no way Jack could have known about the injury while he was alive. People came up with several theories to explain these messages, and one of the most logical ones suggested that Jack used a special service that lets you write emails today that get sent automatically after some time. He might have scheduled them to send 5 months later, which would explain the attic comment if he wrote it right after visiting Tim. However, it does not perfectly explain the broken ankle message. The only explanation for that is a strange coincidence where Jack predicted an injury or made a lucky guess in a scheduled message. Some people suggested it might have been one of Jack's friends, but they would have had to know about the discussion he had with Tim. When asked, they all said they didn't have the login information. To this day, nobody knows for sure who pressed the send button or how the writer knew such specific details about the lives of the people left behind. Kenny Veach and M. Cave. A hiker named Kenny Veach was alone in the desert near Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada when he claimed to have found a mysterious cave that made his entire body vibrate. He loved exploring the Mojave Desert, and he often shared his experiences on his YouTube channel. All of them were mostly normal, but the turning point was when he left a comment on a video about Area 51 conspiracies. In this comment, he described finding a hidden cave with an entrance shaped like a perfect capital M. He said that as he tried to enter the cave, his body began to vibrate and he became terrified, so he ran away. People People on the internet immediately demanded proof and challenged him to go back to the cave. Kenny accepted the challenge and went out to film his search for the M Cave. He posted a video showing his hike where he explored old mines and looked at wildlife, but he admitted he could not find the specific cave again. He seemed disappointed, but he was determined to prove he was telling the truth. Kenny told his viewers he would go back out for a 3-day hike to search the same canyon again. On November 10, 2014, he set out on this final journey. He took his gun and his phone, but strangely he left his video camera at home. He never returned from that trip. His girlfriend at the time reported him missing when he did not come back. Search and rescue teams combed the desert and helicopters flew over the rugged terrain looking for any sign of him. They found his car parked where he said it would be, but Kenny was gone. Eventually, searchers found his cell phone lying on the ground near an old mine shaft he had visited in his previous video. The police sent a camera down the mine shaft to see if he had fallen in, but it was empty. There were no clothes, no supplies, and no body found anywhere in the area. It was as if he had simply vanished into the desert. Since his disappearance, there have been many theories about what happened. His girlfriend posted a comment saying Kenny battled depression and may have ended his life in the desert. She said that Veach struggled with depression for years, which had intensified in the months prior to his disappearance. She stated that Veach had expressed suicidal thoughts and had remarked that if he ever chose to end his life, no one would ever find him. Some people, though, still think he might have encountered something dangerous near the military base, since the area is known for testing secret technology. Years later, other hikers tried to find the cave, and one person even found a rock formation that looked like an M but appeared to be sealed shut with rocks. Another YouTuber thought he found Kenny walking on a road years later, but it turned out to be a different man who just looked and sounded very similar. To this day, nobody knows for sure what happened to Kenny, and his YouTube channel, Snakebitmg, became pretty popular. Chipchan. Back in 2008, internet users stumbled upon a live video stream of a woman sleeping in a chair in a cluttered apartment. She didn't move for 12 or even 20 hours at a time, and it wasn't a one-time event, but something she had been doing almost every day for over a decade. Her room was filled with handmade signs written in Korean, and she spent her life in front of a webcam. However, the reason she streamed is what makes this mystery so disturbing. Chipchan claimed she was being held hostage by a corrupt police officer she called P. She believed that P had implanted a mind control weapon into her body, specifically in her ankle or foot. She called this device a Very chip, and according to her, the chip allowed P to see through her eyes, hear what she heard, and completely control her body. Viewers watched her fall asleep in very uncomfortable positions for distinct periods of time, almost as if a switch was flipped. Chipchan used to insist she was not sleeping, but that the officer was using the weapon to knock her unconscious. Over the years, she used her webcam to document this. She showed severe rashes and wounds on her legs, which she claimed were caused by the mind control weapon. She said that P prevented those injuries from healing. On the rare occasions she left her apartment, she filmed police officers and patrol cars because she was convinced they were stalking her. There are a few theories about what was actually happening. Some people thought she might have been a dedicated internet troll playing a character, but she has kept this up for so many years without making money that it seems unlikely. Others worry she was telling the truth and is a victim of abuse. However, the most common theory is that she was suffering from a severe mental illness, such as schizophrenia or narcolepsy. This would explain her paranoia about being watched and her irregular sleeping habits. To this day, her true identity remains a mystery. 112 Dirtbag. Around February 8th and 9th in 2012, a truly strange video appeared on YouTube that disturbed many people. It showed a man in a dark room laughing in a very disturbing way for no apparent reason. At the end of the clip, the words "Happy Anniversary" appeared on the screen. While this might seem like just another weird internet video, the date it was posted and the name of the user made people suspect something much darker. The video was uploaded exactly 8 years after a young nursing student named Maura Murray disappeared. On February 9th, 2004, Maura crashed her car on Route 112 in New Hampshire. She vanished from the scene before police arrived and has never been found. Her father later told the news that he believed dirtbags were responsible for taking her. The YouTube user who posted the laughing video went by the name 112 Dirtbag. So basically, the name combined the road where Maura crashed with the specific word her father used to describe her possible kidnappers. This connection led many people to wonder if the man in the video knew what happened to her or if he was actually responsible for her disappearance. The user posted other strange videos too. One video showed a ticket for a ski resort called Bretton Woods, and the date on the ticket was February 11th, 2004, which was just 2 days after Maura went missing. This video was deleted shortly after it was uploaded, which only made people more suspicious. Another video featured a strange drawing of a face with numbers and a red shape next to it. An author who researched the case believed this drawing was actually a clue. He thought the shape looked like a specific building at the ski resort and that the drawing might be a map hinting at where Mora's body was hidden. He noticed the face on the map looked very similar to the layout of a golf course at that same resort. Police did investigate the man behind the account and they questioned him, but ultimately did not find any evidence linking him to the crime. Many people now believe he was simply a man with mental health issues who wanted attention by inserting himself into a famous missing person case. Lake City Quiet Pills. For years, people have been thinking that what looked like just a Reddit account actually might have been connected to a real-life international assassination of a high-ranking Hamas weapons dealer in a Dubai hotel room. It all began with a Reddit user named Religion Off Peace, who claimed his real name was Milo. He was a moderator for a deeply controversial subreddit dedicated to posting pictures of young girls, but he also had a very different side. Milo claimed to be a 79-year-old military veteran who had fought in conflicts dating back to the 1940s. In May 2009, he announced he was tired of slow image hosting sites, so he built his own called Lake City Quiet Pills. The site looked like a harmless relic from the early internet days, but it would soon become the center of a massive investigation. Things got strange when Milo suddenly stopped posting, and a new user named 26 appeared to announce that Milo had passed away peacefully at his desk. While the community mourned, curious users decided to dig into the source code of the Lake City Quiet Pills website. Hidden deep inside the HTML code, they found something that started one of the biggest mysteries of the internet: invisible text that looked like a job board for mercenaries. These messages used military slang and discussed things like wet work, which is a code word for assassination. The mystery turned terrifying when the hidden messages announced a birthday party for Milo scheduled for January 19, 2010, starting at 3 p.m. On that exact day, and at that exact time, a surveillance team in Dubai began tracking a high-ranking Hamas weapons dealer named Mahmoud al-Mabhouh, who was assassinated in his hotel room shortly after. The hidden code on the website later posted a finalized bill for the party, totaling over $94,000. Internet sleuths began hunting for the identity of the people running the site and found a crucial linguistic clue. Milo frequently misspelled the word mortar as motor without the first letter R. Years earlier, on a completely different forum called Fark, a user named Angel26 made the exact same spelling error while discussing military bayonets. This suggested Milo and Angel26 were the same person. Then, investigators traced Angel26 to a man named Mike, who ran a technical consulting business called Crystal Wind in New Jersey. On two separate occasions, the admins named Pierce and Bishop warned that the website might go offline due to severe weather. They mentioned Hurricane Irene and a specific snowstorm right as those events were hammering New Jersey. When users traced the IP address of the server, it pointed directly to Newark, New Jersey, which was where Mike lived. The investigation into Mike's business website revealed even darker secrets. While one file directory named Sharky contained innocent 3D models, another directory named Scooby contained disturbing 3D renderings of women in distress, with file names like Body Tank and Experiment Table, suggesting a dark, fetishistic side to the creator. It also turned out that the Lake City Quiet Pills image host was providing server space for a site called Drunken Stepfather, which hosted celebrity nudes and taboo content. Over time, the administrators of the hidden job board kept changing, with names like Shade and Kim taking over only to vanish or claim they were dying. The site eventually went offline for good, but years later, a Reddit user named Retirement Plan LCQP appeared claiming to be an insider. They stated that the whole thing was just a role-playing game run by bored-rich software engineers. That claim from the insider appears to be the truth because deeper digging connected Mike to another online profile named Trent the Thief. This was not the name of a hitman, but a character Mike used in online role-playing games and Second Life and furry communities. The investigators realized that the strange words found in the hidden website code were not military secrets at all. Terms like Crystal Wind, The Ring, and The Continuing Time were actually taken directly from science fiction books written by an author named Daniel Keyes Moran. Mike was just a very big fan of these books and used their ideas to build his own imaginary world. This meant that the terrifying connection to the assassination in Dubai was just a massive coincidence. The entire thing was a performance that lasted for decades, and although it was only solved recently, it remained one of the biggest unsolved internet mysteries for years, so I decided to include it in this video. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join my Discord, link in the description.